It's 8 o'clock.
CNN Radio, I'm Greg Black. Our top story this hour, it is true. Afghan President Hamid Karzai confirming that his government has been accepting bags of cash from Iran. He says it's just another form of foreign aid, but State Department spokesman P.J. Crowley says
that's not the issue. The issue to us is what is that money being used for? What is the motivation for which that money is being provided?
Karzai notes that the United States has given him bags of cash as well. In Washington State, Attorney General Rob McKenna is calling for lawmakers to ban the sale of a powerful caffeinated alcohol drink known as Four Loko.
We've had a rash of alcohol poisoning incidents around the country involving groups of young people. So I think the legislature will be much more receptive to hearing these arguments.
Earlier this month, 9 students at Central Washington University had to be hospitalized because of that drink. Well, if someone in your family still smokes, listen up. New study says they are dramatically boosting their chances of developing Alzheimer's.
We know that people who smoke, and in particular people who smoke quite heavily, they have higher levels of inflammatory factors, and inflammation is a very large predictor of Alzheimer's disease and dementia.
Researcher Rachel Whitmer says the risk is more than doubled if you're a heavy smoker. Well, one of the arguments you might have heard against a new health care reform bill centers around a new tax on the sale of your home. Walter Maloney of the National Association of Realtors says that is true, but only to a degree.
An additional tax obligation might result from the sale of a home if you're a high-income individual and you have $500,000 or more in the profit on the sale of your home. So for most folks, this is a non-issue.
Maloney notes that the language in the reform bill is very technical and kind of hard to understand. For news anytime, go to CNN.com. This is CNN Radio.
KFNX 1100. This message is for the dogs in the car. For the schnauzers, the huskies, the labradoodles, the pugs. I have good news. CSX trains take 1 million tons of freight off the highways each day, relieving traffic congestion and opening up the roads. So stick your heads out those windows, hang out your fat tongues, and ride the wind, doggies. Ride the wind. CSX, how tomorrow moves. To find out more, go to csx.com.
Live from Progressive.
Flo again, talking about something dear to my heart.
Saving money.
And we have Marcy.
Hi, can I really find other car insurance companies' rates on Progressive.com?
Sure can. It makes rate shopping fast and saving as easy as pie.
Oh, it's got to be easier than that. Ever tried making a pecan pie?
It can get soupy.
Visit Progressive.com to compare rates and start saving today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and its affiliates, Mayfield Village, Ohio. Comparison rates not available in Massachusetts and certain other states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hi, everybody. Jim Howell from the KFNX Weather Center. Our nights now pretty chilly. Low 60s here in town. Low 50s down in our cooler valley spots. Next couple of days, tomorrow and Wednesday, look great. A lot of sunshine. Low to mid 80s. Jim Howell, KFNX News Talk Radio 1100.
Currently in downtown Phoenix, it's 73 degrees.
Bear down and tune in. Wildcats football on KFNX.
She's hot to go, she's ready. She's hot to go right now. She's hot to go, you got to know. Let's stop and do it, girl. I don't have no liquor shop.
The lady with her hair on fire is on the air. America thinks it. Barbara says it.
She's hot to go, she's ready. She's hot to go right now. She's hot to go, you got to know. Let's stop and do it, girl. Well, you can stop by in the morning.
Hi, this is Barbara. This is Hair on Fire at 1100 KFNX. If you would like to call in, the call-in number is 602-253-9616 or 602-254-2535. Our 800 number is 866-536-1100. My co-host tonight is the Honorable Vernon Parker, former mayor of the town of Paradise Valley in Paradise Valley, Arizona. Tonight we have 2 guests. We have Matthew Vadum, who is the senior editor of Capital Research Center, a Washington, D.C. think tank that studies the politics of philanthropy. I met Matthew Vadum in 2009 when I was a volunteer for the Tea Party 9/12 March, and we've since kept in touch. The last time I saw Matthew was on April the 15th. We walked all over downtown Washington, D.C. from the Washington Monument, He is the most knowledgeable young man that you could ever meet. He can walk along the streets of Washington and point out a building and tells you who owns. I get tongue-tied. Tells you who owns it, how much they paid for it, what kind of mortgage it's got on it, what kind of business they've got in it. He's phenomenal. He is undoubtedly the top expert in the country on Acorn and SEIU. He is the one that did all the research and exposed Acorn and SEIU connections. He has written numerous articles. I mean, too many for me to mention in an hour. He's I would call a true investigative reporter in the truest sense of the word. He's dedicated, and he's been on O'Reilly, Hannity, Glenn Beck, and his latest report was posted this morning at 6:08 a.m. D.C. time. And it's how Acorn survives and thrives. He is actually got a really long day to come on this show, and I'm really looking forward to talking with him. And then we have Andrea Shea King, who's going to be calling in the last segment of the show with a report on Tea Party 4 Express, which, as you know, on Friday stopped in Phoenix, Arizona. We all got to go to the Tea Party Express. I had the privilege of, since I know Andrea and Lloyd Marcus and Kevin Jackson, of going on one of the buses and sitting and talking to them while they were doing their thing. The setup on the Tea Party Express when they came into town was phenomenal. We went down there got there about 9:30. The show was supposed to start at 12. It took the guys that set up the camera equipment, the technical equipment, it took them like a couple of hours just to set up that equipment. And, I mean, they did it all from 9:30 till about 11:30. Got everything set up, stages, press riser, everything you can imagine. They break it down and do it again. They have 2 stops a day. They're on their second week across America, bringing the knowledge to the American people of what it means to have a conservative Congress and Senate, and they get out to vote. And Andrea has her own radio show. It's called The Radio Patriot. She writes for Brett Bart and Big Government. She's an author. She has a news blog. She's the Radio Patriot, and she is reporting from the bus as it moves along the highway. Okay. I'd like to introduce you guys to Vernon Parker.
Barbara Espinosa, what a thrill it is to be here with you. And I just love the show title, Hair on Fire. If I had any hair, it probably would not be on fire, but, you know, I'm still trying to grow that hair out. But to be here with a great patriot, with someone of Barbara Espinosa's background, someone who cares about this country, is just so much fun. And the guests that we have tonight, I think, will be very informative. It's just going to be a great show, but there's no one like Barbara. And, can someone get a fire extinguisher? Because I think her hair is on fire right now. Someone calm her down.
My hair is on fire. Do you know what that Obama administration wants to do today? They're talking about doing away with interest, home mortgage interest deductions and child deductions on your taxes, because they can raise trillions of dollars. They don't ever think about cutting spending. All they can think about is what they can take away from you, or get from you, instead of cutting spending.
Isn't that ironic? Because it seems like everything that the Obama administration tries to do, it is so anti-American, it is so anti-business, it is so anti-growth, and this economy that we have will continue to plummet if we don't do something about it. I mean, believe me, this would destroy and devastate the home mortgage industry. People would not buy the homes that they are currently trying to buy right now, and it would just be, I think, catastrophic if that went through, Barbara.
It definitely would be catastrophic because there are a lot of people that, they've worked hard to save their money to buy a home, and that's one of the few deductions that you have left on your income tax is your home interest. And your children under, I think it's 18, since I don't have any kids at home, I don't get to do this anymore, so I shouldn't be bitching. Let's see, we've got a guest.
I have a crumb snatcher at home, and believe me, we need that deduction.
We've got Matthew. Are you on the line, darling?
I am. How are you, Barbara?
I'm fine. How are you doing? Tell us all that's going on, all the down and dirty details of Washington today.
Well, Washington is inherently dirty. What? Nothing really shocks me, so I can't tell you what's actually news.
Hey, Matthew, this is Vernon Parker. I have one question for you right from the start. You posted this article at 6:08 a.m. Why 6:08? Why not 6:07? Why not 6:03?
You mean at American Spectator?
Yes. Is there some sort of hidden message behind 6:08 a.m.?
No.
There's no conspiracy? Acorn didn't get to you beforehand?
No. That's just when the articles load up in the morning at the site I write for, spectator.org, they set them to go off at a minute apart for some reason. So.
Okay, so we can put the conspiracy theory behind us that Acorn had something to do with that, right?
Yeah, Acorn had nothing to do with
great.
the time that the article went active on the Spectator website.
This
is one conspiracy that Acorn did not play a part in.
All right, tell us. I know how converse you are with Acorn and SEIU. You are, if you will look yourself up on Google, you are noted as being, or they say chronicled, as being the expert Acorn and SEIU reporter in the country.
Well, more Acorn than SEIU, but I know a heck of a lot about Acorn. Acorn is perversely fascinating to me because they're so endlessly depraved.
And you like depravity, right?
Well, and it's interesting. It's like watching a car wreck or, a movie where you know something bad is going to happen and there's nothing you can do about it. But you keep watching. In fact, you watch with even more interest when you have a sense of what's going to happen.
There is a lot of talk about voter fraud, especially in the border states of Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, and California. Colorado has some, and there's one lady, I think it's in the state of Washington, that has illegals door knocking for her. Do you?
I heard about that. I don't think it has anything to do with Acorn. I'd heard that Senator Patty Murray, his campaign, had illegal aliens doing door knocking for her. But this is the kind of thing that happens every election season, and both parties do it. But it seems Democrats do it an awful lot more than Republicans do.
Are we hearing about it more?
So I'm not going to give you the pox on both houses argument.
Oh, you're not?
Okay. Here. No.
Tell us about this article that you posted today. You have followed this Acorn business from a tiny little nut, right, before it dropped from the tree?
Before it grew into a massive oak. That's right. The thing is, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, HUD Secretary Sean Donovan, had a long-standing relationship with Acorn when he was Housing Development Commissioner for Mayor Michael Bloomberg in New York. And he worked closely with Acorn for at least 5 years. And when he came to Washington, there was even an article in the New York Times about how close he was. And Bertha Lewis, you recall her, she's the chief organizer of Acorn now. She's the one who said the Tea Party movement is a bowel movement.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes. And didn't you have a little interview with her, or something to that effect?
Well, no, I was juxtaposed with her on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, October 30th, 2008.
Oh.
So is she like a community organizer, or?
She's the CEO or chief organizer of Acorn.
Yeah.
She is from Philly, but she moved to New York, and she was a squatter, and that's how she got interested in Acorn. She was interested in breaking into vacant properties and turning them and living there.
It seems
so
to
me
me
she got her start as a trespasser.
It seems to me, Matthew, that there is a double standard, because if you had a Republican organization such as this, that it would be the sign of the apocalypse. I mean, people would be going crazy. But it seems like if you are a Democrat, or if you are from a liberal persuasion, or if they like to call it progressive, that you can get away with things like this. What's your thought as far as the parity or the fairness as far as groups like Acorn?
Well, there's nothing comparable to Acorn anywhere. And if there were one on the right, I think you're exactly correct that it would be in the news every single day. The mainstream media would never let us forget about it. But because it's on the left, a lot of reporters are sympathetic to it. And sometimes the reporters, it's not even a conscious thing. They just unconsciously or subconsciously are in favor of what Acorn does. So it's very hard for them to come down on Acorn, because they view them as fighting for that which is good. They consider to be social justice.
We're going to take a tiny break to sell something, and we're going to come back. Stay tuned to KFNX 1100 News Talk Radio with Matthew Vadum when we get right back.
Shadows wash all my cares away. I wake up to a sunny day 'cause I love the rainy night.
Meghan McCain just got to the heart of the matter. Frankly, I think George Will should have just gotten up and left the table. Her analysis of how 20-somethings feel, and saying that, well, Christine O'Donnell has no experience. Well, I just thought that was kind of amusing, because one could say that the experience that she brought to the table was being the daughter of John McCain.
The Laura Ingraham Show, your healthy radio addiction. Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.
It's a parade. It's a festival. It's a parade and a festival. The Daisy Mountain Veterans Parade and Festival on Saturday, November 6th in Anthem is one event you won't want to miss. The parade will begin promptly at 10 a.m. with a variety of floats, animals, music, and marchers. Arrive early and stay late for the festivities beginning after the parade and continuing until 7 p.m. There will be live entertainment all day long, a beer garden, and food court, and lots of fun and games for children and adults alike. Kids $5 wristbands for unlimited play. Be sure to join us in Anthem on November the 6th for the Daisy Mountain Veterans Parade and Festival, and bring along a toy for the Marine Corps Toys for Tots program. For more information, please visit daisymountainvets.org. That's DAISYMTNVETS.org. The Daisy Mountain Veterans Parade and Festival on Saturday, November 6th in Anthem is one event you won't want to miss. daisymountainvets.org.
Hi, folks. It's Dennis from Follow the Fat Boy. I've been telling you for months now that I'm going to lose 40 pounds in 6 weeks. Well, I didn't. I lost 47 pounds. That's 47 pounds in 42 days. Folks, the people at Phoenix Rejuvenation Center are nothing short of miracle workers. Call them today, get your free consultation, and take your life back. That's Phoenix Rejuvenation Center, 480-223-1901, 480-223-1901, 480-223-1901.
She's hot to go, she's ready, she's hot to go right now. She's hot to go, you got to know, let's stop and do it, girl. I don't have no liquor shop.
The lady with her hair on fire is on the air. America thinks it, Barbara says it.
She's ready, she's hot to go right now.
We're back with Matthew Vadum. This is KFNX 1100 News Talk Radio. Okay, Matthew, let's pick up where we left off. I can't remember it. I hope you can.
I hope so. But first, I want to know, why is your hair on fire?
Because everything
this is not a pleasant image.
Well, everything the Obama does pisses me off. And in Texas, when something really pisses you off bad, you go, it sets my hair on fire. So therefore, I named this show Hair on Fire.
Well, we do have a fire extinguisher here, so, don't worry.
Barbara,
we will take care of it.
Spontaneously combust there.
Well, it's not going to be from anything except what the Obama administration is doing to America, I can tell you that. I don't have any other action going.
Okay, what was I telling you about? I think I was telling you about my article that's at spectator.org today.
Right.
Called How Acorn Survives and Thrives. And I was saying that HUD Secretary Sean Donovan, longtime collaborator with Acorn, and once Acorn got into trouble with the pimp and prostitute undercover videos last year, suddenly Secretary Donovan didn't want to talk about Acorn anymore. Suddenly they weren't his friends, apparently. And HUD has been illegally refusing to comply with a Freedom of Information Act that I made through my employer, a think tank called Capital Research Center here in Washington, D.C. HUD rules state that FOIA requests, that is Freedom of Information Acts, Act requests have to be answered within 45 days. And I made it, I believe, on March the 18th, so it's been pending for over 7 months. So I'm just wondering what exactly the Obama administration and HUD Secretary Sean Donovan have to hide. I had asked for all correspondence between Donovan and Acorn, and I remain convinced that there's a lot of it, and that it's probably damaging, and that's why they're taking so long to respond to this request.
What can you do to them when they don't respond in the amount of time required by law? Is there any actions you can take?
Well, I guess you can complain to them, and then if that doesn't work, you can sue them. And often, when you're pressing federal agencies to give answers under the Freedom of Information Act, the fact that you can file the suit and then they'll respond like right away. The next day they'll give you what you wanted.
Yeah, and
it just takes that push to get it done.
Yeah, and they also have Freedom of Information officers who are in charge of that. Having worked in the federal government myself, sometimes, very few agencies comply with the 45-day requirement, but 7 months, I think, is quite excessive. And when you do appeal, and generally the next course of action is to go to the secretary's office, but that's where you are requesting the information from. So it's kind of yeah.
So I guess I've been there already.
Oh yeah, you really have.
I could go to the Inspector General of HUD's office, I guess.
I didn't tell you any of Vernon Parker's background, but Vernon Parker was an assistant to President George H.W. Bush and was Undersecretary of Agriculture.
Ah, okay.
And he has a lawsuit pending against the federal government now.
Oh, yes, I do. And
lawsuits are fun.
Oh, well, you know what? I tell people all the time that when the protector becomes the predator, you have to keep them in check. Hey, let me ask you another quick question, because I see some correlations here with the Obama administration when you talk about Acorn and then the movement of the Black Panthers, who the Department of Justice just summarily dismissed and said, we're not going to prosecute the Black Panther movement. Do you? I mean,
right, despite having a slam dunk case.
Yeah, and once again, I think it's a double standard. I mean, if you had a group of neo-Nazis out there in a predominantly African American community saying, you can't come vote, can you imagine what the outcry would have been there?
Absolutely. But because wacky radical groups are part of the Obama administration's base, they refuse to go after them, no matter how horrible they are.
And like you said, Matthew, that is definitely, they had that was a slam dunk case if I ever saw one before.
Yeah, they might as well have just sat there with, they might as well have just sat there on the ballot box, pointing a gun at people. It's not that much different. They were brandishing, you're referring to the incident in 2008 where the two new Black Panther Party members were brandishing a nightstick, and they were dressed in their regalia, their uniforms, and they were, it's obvious they were standing there to scare people.
I have to admit to you, I didn't get a chance today to check on the documentary that you posted on October the 22nd on Soros, the documentary that embraces terrorists who want to kill Republicans. Would you...
the article on that. I put that up at bighollywood.com, one of Andrew Breitbart's websites.
And what time did you post that one, Matthew?
Oh, I don't know. I filed it the night before, and it suddenly magically appeared in the morning.
I wanted them. The reason I told them that you had posted that at 6:08 this morning in D.C. time is I wanted them to know how late you were staying up to be on this program.
Well, that's okay. That's fair enough.
I wanted them to know that you were sacrificing to talk to us.
Sure. Well, I can tell you, as soon as this is finished, I'm going straight to bed.
I thought you probably...
It's been a long day.
Tell me about this Soros-backed documentary that you said thinks embraces. Is that a done deal? You know for a fact that he's doing it, or is this just...
Well, he's the primary funder of the Soros Documentary Fund, which merged with Sundance. It's now the Soros Sundance.
Is that like
Film
Sundance?
Festival Documentary Fund, or whatever the formal name of it is. So he's the primary benefactor of this fund that gives money out to filmmakers. Not all of it is political, but a lot of it is.
Is this like the Sundance Robert Redford?
Yes.
Oh
That's
my!
Right. You probably didn't know that George Soros was an important part of Sundance.
No, I didn't.
He's come up with the big money to hand out to aspiring filmmakers who come up with ideas for documentaries. And as I said, not all of them are political, but in this case, this is very political and anti-American. It's called Better This World. You want me to tell you about it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, it's called Better This World, and I'm not sure when it's going to be released. Presumably, it'll debut at, the Sundance Film Festival itself, but it's about these two young men, two anarchists, who decide that it would be cool to go to the Republican convention in St. Paul, Minnesota in 2008 and to napalm Republicans. And they made homemade Molotov cocktails. They bought some of the materials at either Walmart or Kmart. They used women's tampons as the fuses, and they made 8 Molotov cocktails. And they were stopped.
This actually happened?
Yeah, yes. They were there in St. Paul, Minnesota they made the Molotov cocktails. They did not get an opportunity to use them because their plan was thwarted by a courageous American from Austin, Texas named Brandon Darby. And he is a former radical community organizer, and he had a change of heart along the way and decided that America wasn't so bad after all, and he let the FBI know that this was going to happen, and the FBI intervened.
I think they're getting ready to sell something else. We'll be right back with Matthew Vadum. This is KFNX 1100. Stay tuned. We've got a real interesting story going here.
Laura Ingraham, Neil Bortz, Dr. Laura, Lou Dobbs, KFNX, News Talk Radio 1100, the voice of the Valley.
CNN Radio, I'm Greg Black. A Pennsylvania woman is now facing homicide charges, accused of killing 4 of her babies. Berks County DA John Adams says he's still not sure why.
I couldn't comment on her motivation. None of us have ever been involved in any case like this.
Babies' bodies were found over the summer, locked in a closet. Some scary news for homeowners. Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke says 20% of us are upside down in our mortgages. That means we owe more than our homes are now worth. Rhode Island's Democratic nominee for governor is telling President Obama to shove it. Frank Caprio is angry that the president has decided not to endorse him. In sports, Vikings quarterback Brett Favre has a stress fracture in his left ankle. It's not clear yet whether Favre will play this coming weekend. If not, that would end his league record streak of 291 consecutive games played. The most trusted name in news. This is CNN Radio.
Hi, everybody. Jim Howell from the KFNX Weather Center. Our night's now pretty chilly. Low 60s here in town, low 50s down in our cooler valley spots. Next couple of days, tomorrow and Wednesday, look great. A lot of sunshine, low to mid 80s. Jim Howell, KFNX News Talk Radio 1100.
Currently in downtown Phoenix, it's 71 degrees.
Bear down and tune in. Wildcats football on KFNX.
Every day's a holiday in Healthy Habit Health Food Store, 6029 North 7th Street. Tune in to Healthy House Call discussing the latest breakthroughs of integrative medicine. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 to 10 a.m. and call with your questions. 602-266-1000. Discover world-class physicians, medical researchers, Hollywood celebrities, professional athletes, and testimonials from our patients and consumers of natural products. Call 602-266-1000.
Mildred, mind your business and get in the house. I've been trimming this tree since we planted it 20 years ago. Call somebody. Call somebody.
When your trees get too high, call my tree guy.
Hi, it's Lionel Lamarck. Keith Matthews, certified arborist with My Tree Guy. If you can't see through the canopy of your tree, then the wind can blow it down.
Call us at 602-242-4920 to trim one tree, and we'll give you a second tree for free. That's right, trim one tree and get the second tree free. Call 602-242-4920. That's 602-242-4920, or visit mytreeguy.org. Trim one tree and we'll give you a second tree for free. That's right, trim one tree and get the second tree free.
My Tree Guy.
She's hot to go, she's ready. She's hot to go right now. She's hot to go, you got to know. Let's stop and do it, girl. I don't have no liquor shop.
The lady with her hair on fire is on the air. America thinks it. Barbara says it.
She's ready. She's hot to go right now. She's hot to go, you got to know. Let's stop and do it, girl. Well, you can stop.
Matthew, while we were on break, Charles, who does the tech stuff for me, pulled up the documentary, and it's due to be released sometime this year.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that. Thank you.
The other thing he pulled up was a cozy picture of you and I on Nova Town Hall blog that I didn't even know anybody had taken.
You know what it seems like to me, Matthew?
What's that, at a restaurant?
It's what?
Is that taken at a restaurant?
I don't know where it was taken, but...
Am I wearing a stripy shirt?
Yes, you are.
That doesn't help. I'm always wearing a stripy shirt.
Oh, we are at a restaurant.
I know someone.
We are at a restaurant, and
I can't remember my name, so she just referred to me as El Stripo.
Is this the last? Last model you went out with?
I don't. Did I go out with a model?
I thought that's all you ever went out with was models. It's not? Oh, well.
Hey, Matthew.
I need to hire you to find them for me.
Hey, Matthew, this is
then you'd be making a documentary about me pimping.
You know, it seems to me that an act such as that would have been classified as a terrorist act.
Oh, definitely, it's a terrorist act.
But
that they did. But this documentary, Better This World, tries to depict Brandon Darby as the bad guy because he told the authorities about them. And if you take the idea that informing to the FBI about this is a bad thing, then by implication, you're saying it would have been better if their attack had been successful. If Republican delegates in 2008 and police officers had been killed.
I'm surprised they didn't arrest him for stopping it.
Well, who knows? I know a crazy enough administration just might do that.
What else are you working on that you can talk to us about? I know you always work on really interesting things, and you dig deep to find out everything you possibly can.
Well, Acorn is not dead.
It's not?
You may have heard that they're dead.
Are we still
They're just retrenching.
Are we still giving them money?
Not as far as I know, but the federal funding ban was not permanent. It expired at the end of September because it wasn't a freestanding bill. It wasn't a freestanding act. It was a provision that was put into an annual appropriations bill, and those run out. Those just go from year to year. It ran out September 30th without anybody really noticing it. So right now, I'm not saying there's a big movement afoot in Congress right now to start giving them, more money, but Congress could. Because the ban is gone.
That's interesting.
So who knows what they'll do during their lame duck session?
Can you just off the top of your head tell us some of the left-wing PACs that have? I was reading about PACs that have, real good-sounding names like Jobs for America and America on the Road to Recovery and stuff that are really progressive left-wing PACs that are out to just get money to give to left-wing causes. Is there any of them off the top of your head?
Well, the People for the American Way PAC. People for the American Way sounds like it's a great organization, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's not.
It's a very big
founded by
PAC,
Norman
too.
Lear. It's very, very left-wing.
It's very large also.
It is. Well, there's Emily's List, which sounds innocuous enough. That's a pro-abortion PAC. It only tries to get female Democrats who support abortion rights elected to Congress. Emily's List sounds pretty innocent, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Those are the ones that just off the top of my head.
So, Matthew, what can the American people do to ensure that our federal government does not fund groups like Acorn? And, is there some sort of a watchdog outfit out there that people can really tune into to make sure that taxpayers' dollars are not going towards groups like Acorn?
Well, we do that where I work at Capital Research Center. Our website is capitalresearch.org. We've been tracking Acorn since 1998. As well, the American Conservative Union has set up a website devoted to tracking Acorn, and that's run by a former Acorn employee who's become a conservative named Anita Moncrief. So, that's two of them right there. And, you can use, there are other websites, too. There's a website called Rotten Acorn.
See, I was thinking that the Republican Party should start something called, like, Walnut, to combat Acorn, and, we can, come up.
You don't want to call it Peanut?
Well, Walnut, I think, would be better because it's a little more difficult to crack,
Well, Jason Matera, the journalist who likes to do, I guess you'd call them performance art videos. He goes around and shows how silly and stupid liberals are.
Isn't he on Human Events?
Yeah, he's now the editor. He's now the fellow in charge at Human Events, and he did one about. He made up a group called Walnut.
See, I was just
and I don't remember what it stood for, but it was something ridiculous. It's on YouTube, and he went around and got people to agree to sign a petition for it. even though its platform was totally ridiculous.
Well, there's
no shortage. There's no shortage of these nuts.
There's another one, too. Media Research is doing those videos called iBlast because I post them on AmericanFreedomByBarbara.com. I've got a couple posted on there now. And let me ask you I posted a couple of videos from iBlast that were pulled from YouTube because of the content. It's a lady, I think her last name is Smiley, Missy Smiley, that's running for Congress. And it shows actually abortions. And I thought they were running in Washington, D.C., those commercials.
I've heard of them. I haven't seen them.
Okay, well, I posted them on AmericanFreedomByBarbara.com.
Okay.
And before you go off the air or we have another commercial, let's tell the viewers about where to go to see your YouTube clips and your capitalresearch.org blog. I've got them all listed. Do you want me to do it, or would you like to tell them?
The Capital Research blog is Capital Research /blog. Pretty straightforward.
.org /blog.
Yeah, the capitalresearch.org /blog. And the videos I've put up at my YouTube account, and I think that's youtube.com/ my last name, Vadum, V as in Victor, ADUM.
And then your articles that are posted on American Spectator.
American Spectator, which is spectator.org. And I also write for Andrew Breitbart's biggovernment.com and bigjournalism.com. And that piece that we were discussing earlier about the men who wanted to bomb the Republican convention, that was up my debut piece at bighollywood.com.
Tell me about this Newsbusters, because they've got written up, it says the opinions he expresses on Newsbusters are his own. Is there some reason that they're making a disclaimer on Google up front?
Oh, I think I was making that disclaimer.
Oh, was it you? Okay.
A lot of people do that. They just say they want to put some distance. They want to keep their employer at arm's length, so employer can't be held responsible for what they said.
Okay. Well,
so I think I put that there. I've contributed a lot to Newsbusters, which is a conservative media bias analysis website. I haven't done a piece lately because they're very labor intensive. If you want to do a media bias piece properly, you can't just dash it off. So I haven't done one in a few months, but Newsbusters is a valuable resource for looking at media bias in the mainstream media.
Well, that really shouldn't take too much to do since they're really biased about almost everything.
Well, yeah, you could spend all day, as Rush Limbaugh says, he doesn't talk about media bias that much because he could spend all day, every day talking about it. Because it's everywhere. It's omnipresent. So, it kind of gets, when you're writing about it all the time, it kind of gets tiresome because it never goes away.
Is there any websites that the public could go to find out about these PACs? And I know that they can go to fec.gov to find out about money. And I know that they can go to thomas.loc.gov to find out about a candidate's or an incumbent's votes. But is there any place that they can go to find out which PACs and organizations that are really not what they seem to be to the public? That just gives you a list of...
Not that I'm aware of, Barbara, but you can do more research, not just at fec.gov, which is the Federal Elections Commission's website, but you can also go to the charities section of irs.gov and look up a form called, there's a searchable database for Form 8872, and you can find out what various political committees, like 527 committees, are spending their money on and where they're getting it from, because they have to disclose it to the IRS.
And then there's one called Something I.
Something I.
We're getting ready to go to a commercial again.
I'm not sure about that one.
Do you want to stay on? Do you want to say goodnight? You want to hang on and come back after the commercial until Andrea comes on?
I can stay on. You go for another 15 minutes?
Right, and then Andrea's going to come in this last quarter sometime. We've got 2 minutes that we can continue to talk. And then we'll go to a commercial, and then we can come back. Tell me about I haven't been on the IRS one. Tell me that one again.
You can look up the Form 8872, which is something political committees. It's a disclosure document that they have to file. Just put into Google IRS 8872, and it'll take you there.
Okay.
Because the IRS web address is too long to read to you.
Okay.
And you can use that as a tool for finding out where these groups are getting their money from. Like, for example, the Secretary, George Soros' Secretary of State project?
No.
Well, George Soros, the left has discovered that with only a little bit of effort, they can take over Secretary of State offices across the nation. And they did. They helped put in Mark Ritchie, the radical left-wing community organizer, who's now the Secretary of State of Minnesota, who helped the Democrats steal Norm Coleman's seat away from him.
For Franken.
Right.
Right.
They helped Al Franken get that seat, so you can look up what the Secretary of State project is doing. They have their own website, and I've written about them at spectator.org. And the idea is that if you have a friendly in charge of the elections for a state, then that person, if it's close, can help his favored candidate get
dangle the chads, huh?
Right, just like what happened in Minnesota.
Okay.
I don't have any evidence that Mark Ritchie, was involved in jury rigging the result, like in terms of fraudulent ballots or anything like that. But he made enough rulings in favor of the Democrats that they just kept getting more and more votes as time went on.
You don't have any evidence yet. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he just made rulings that were favorable to them.
Okay. We've got 4, 3, 2 minutes, and we're off the air to a commercial. We'll be right back with Matthew Vadum, KFNX 1100. This is Barbara and Vernon Parker.
Log on and listen to Imus in the Morning. Imus in the Morning. Only on 1100KFNX.com. Log on and listen live. Start your day right. Don't miss Imus in the Morning right here on KFNX.
Principal offices 15715 South 46th Street, Phoenix.
We have all heard of frivolous lawsuits, greedy lawyers, and a broken justice system. But what do honest people who have legitimate claims do to protect themselves when they have been seriously injured by a reckless driver? Hi, I'm attorney Mark Breyer, a certified specialist in injury and wrongful death law.
And I'm attorney Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team.
To help good people avoid making mistakes that will destroy their legitimate claims, Alexis and I have authored the Arizona Accident Book. The Arizona Accident Book details the hidden deadlines, tricks used to deny fair compensation, the process for recovering full reimbursement of medical bills and lost wages, and when you do or do not need to hire a lawyer.
Get your absolutely free copy for a limited time at ArizonaAccidentBook.com. That's ArizonaAccidentBook.com. Or call 602-240-5000. That's 602-240-5000.
At the Newman Eye Center, you will be treated by one of the most experienced board-certified ophthalmologists in the Valley, Bruce Newman, MD. Visit the website, newmanvision.com, to read patient testimonials about LASIK, cataract procedures, and multifocal lenses. The Newman Eye Center also treats glaucoma, dry eyes, and performs cosmetic surgery. To learn more, call 602-788-8080, 602-788-8080, or visit newmanvision.com. The Newman Eye Care Center accepts most insurance plans. Log on today, newmanvision.com.
America Rising Radio, the voice of the Tea Party. Will St. John and Jane King discuss hot topics, grill politicians, and speak for the real America. Learn how you too can participate. Mondays at 3 p.m., America Rising Radio, the voice of the Tea Party.
She's hot to go, she's ready. She's hot to go right now. She's hot to go, you got to know. Let's stop and do it, girl. I don't have no liquor shop.
The lady with her hair on fire is on the air. America thinks it. Barbara says it.
She's ready. She's hot to go right now. She's hot to go. You got to know. Let's stop and do it, girl. Well, you can stop by.
Matthew, while we were on break, Charles pulled up pictures of the young men that did the napalm bomb, and they look like high school kids.
Yeah, they were pretty young. They were early 20s.
Well, boy, you talk about baby face. These guys are really baby face looking.
You know,
and the documentary, the propagandists putting together the documentary Better This World are counting on that.
Did anything happen to them?
For them?
Did anything happen to them for what they did?
Yeah, they're in prison.
Okay.
One cut a deal and got a reduced sentence. The other didn't, and got the full sentence, which escapes me at the moment. I think one got around 2 years, the other got around 4 years.
Only 4? Well, they're already. One of them's already out then.
48 months.
48 months.
Well, I don't think he's out yet. I think that the sentence. I think it was at sentencing. I don't think he got credit for time served.
Now, let's go back and tell us. You say Acorn is not dead. How are they thriving? You said that they not only survive, but they're thriving. How are they thriving?
Well, their voter registration, their vote fraud subsidiary, Project Vote, is active right now as we speak. They're in around 8 battleground states, registering voters and trying to get voters out to the polls. Project Vote has long been an intricate part of the Acorn network. They still operate out of Acorn's Washington, D.C. headquarters.
Oh, that's just incredible that in this country.
They're still operating. They just took the signs down, so nobody, I guess, goes in and bugs them. But they continue to operate, and a whole bunch of the state chapters of Acorn have incorporated themselves under new names, and they're operating. I don't think they've done it in Arizona, but they've done it in California. And the group, the new, in quote marks, group is Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment. And they happen to operate with largely the same staff as California Acorn did, and they operate out of exactly the same office in Los Angeles.
Are there any members of Congress that you would think hold that would say that they would owe Acorn their election, that they were out there for them? Specifically,
well, a lot of them do, and a lot of the Democratic lawmakers will never say this on the record, but a lot of them are afraid of Acorn, or at least they were.
Well, and that's the point, because look, I mean, it's sort of self-dealing, because if you are responsible for getting someone elected in those terms, you know, you're going to turn when they come to you and say, okay, pay up, or, you know, it's sort of a two-edged sword there. I mean, you know, if you lie down with dogs, you're going to get fleas, and that's what this whole process has truly turned to. I mean, the political process.
Right. And the House Judiciary Committee Chairman, John Conyers, Democrat from Detroit, last year he said he wanted, even long before the pimp and prostitute undercover videos came out, he said he wanted to investigate Acorn, and then suddenly he changed his mind a few weeks later. And when questioned on it, he said the powers that be told him not to do it.
Yeah,
that was it. He didn't elaborate. He just suddenly changed his mind. So presumably somebody in Acorn or in the Democratic Party who understood the importance of Acorn in terms of getting out the vote told him to back off.
Are y'all doing anything on the illegal immigration issue? Because I know in California they have set up a office on Catalina Island to give IDs to illegals. The Mexican government has.
Oh, right, okay. Well, we haven't dealt with that specific issue that you mentioned, but last month we did have a great piece by an investigative journalist by the name of Kevin Mooney, and he did a piece on... Oh, sorry, it wasn't by Kevin Mooney. It was by David Hochberg. I stand corrected. He did a piece in September. You can read it at capitalresearch.org, called National Day Laborers Organizing Network, How It Supports Illegal Immigration. Because the illegal alien day laborers have their own association, their own lobby representing them.
The illegals have a lobby?
National Day Laborers Organizing Network, NDLON. And you can read it at capitalresearch.org/pubs/pubs.html $ID =742. Or you just go to Capital Research Center and type in day laborers and it'll take you to it.
That is unbelievable. They have their own lobbyists.
Everyone has a lobby here in Washington. Everyone. I once stumbled upon the Association for Regional AIDS Administrators.
I guess what we're looking for, in 2010 is the lobbyists for the American people, and I think that's gone by the wayside. It was supposed to be called members of Congress, but unfortunately they've been bought, they've been sold, and that's where we are today.
Very few lawmakers stand up for the taxpayer. Very few, but let's hope it would be nice if the current election brought a crop of legislators who actually care about spending tax dollars wisely. It would be a nice change.
Have you done anything on the unions? We've got 2 minutes and we're going to be off the air.
Okay, yeah, we have a whole newsletter devoted to the unions called Labor Watch.
Hey Matthew, but before you go,
so we write every month. We have a new article on unions.
Before you go, Matthew, what do you think? I mean, with all the research that you've done, and God bless you for that. What do you think the most pressing thing for the American people is out there right now?
Well, I think that the federal government's got to get its spending under control, or they're just gonna make life miserable for everybody. They're spending our children and grandchildren's future, and it's just crazy. It has to come to an end.
We want to thank you very much, Matthew, for being a guest on Hair on Fire at KFNX 1100. We're going to sign off. We thank you guys for listening. We hope you tune in again next Monday, 8 to 9 p.m. Arizona time. And Matthew, I'll see you at CPAC. I owe you a steak.
Okay, thanks very much.
All right. Good night.
I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, host of Healthline. Join me live to get your questions answered and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family. This month, the Real Vitamin C is on special. Vitamin C Complex is an antioxidant. It promotes healthy adrenals, collagen tissue, and immunity. Imagine ascorbic acid alone is called vitamin C, yet it can be quickly oxidized and as such is a free radical. Without bioflavonoid cofactors, it may not be reduced or unoxidized, and it can harm the body. Not so in our Real Vitamin C Complex. Get the Real Vitamin C Complex. Buy 2 bottles, get the third one free. Call us at 800-370-3447. 800-370-3447. Experience nutrition that really works.
Healthline with Dr. Bob Marshall every Saturday at 9 a.m. here on KFNX News Talk Radio 1100.
This is Arizona's News Talk leader, KFNX 1100 Cave Creek, Phoenix. News Talk leader, a division of Premier Radio Stations, LLC.